What's up, guys? Michael here with Valencia Fan TV, bringing you the latest video on the club we all love, Valencia. Be sure to subscribe for the latest Valencia recaps, match predictions, and updates from this year's transfer market. With that being said, guys, let's take a deep breath. Let's celebrate this. We've gone through some tough times over the last, I don't know what, 3, 4 seasons, and to finally get that break where we can finally get something to celebrate, it doesn't come around very often, guys. So absolutely soak this one in. It was a great victory for Valencia, and I'm ecstatic to see the team do it. In the fashion they did it, that's everything too. This was players who came out from the get-go with heart and with character, and they actually showed what it means to be a Valencia player. And the reason they did that is because so many of these guys are homegrown. Homegrown. What a fun season it's going to be to watch, guys, and I can't wait to watch it with you. But let's get into some of the basics before the game kicked off. We knew that Valencia was lining up in a 5-3-2 formation. Not very surprising. One of the people I'm in a group chat with actually joked that Valencia put 5 at the back because we have so few attackers, and that was the only formation we could actually put out there. With that being said, I thought it was a pretty good formation. The only question mark I had was around putting in Fran Perez over Javi Guerra. I think most of us wanted Javi Guerra starting, but apparently Baraja got it right. Fran Perez actually did a pretty solid job, and I'll talk about one of his highlights later on in the video, but he was pretty solid, so I can't knock him. At the back, no surprises. We had Sank, we had Diakabi, we had Paulista, we had Correa, and we had Gaia. That's exactly what you would expect. Up top, we had Hugo Duro by default and Diego Lopez. And then, of course, and goal, we had the big man, Mamadashvili. And that's the lineup I think I wanted to see out there. You have Correa and Gaia. They're always more attacking players. It's almost more of a 3-5-2 when you have those guys in the lineup just because they like getting forward so much. So no complaints with the roster except for not starting Guerra. But overall, what can I say? With hindsight, it worked out perfectly. So just kicking off into the game, first half started exactly as you wanted. Valencia was actually on the front foot, which is surprising to me. Obviously, we know Sevilla is the bigger name based off of recent form, but I think Sevilla was a little bit vulnerable. I think last year, the winning the Europa League really covered up some of their errors. They finished slightly above Valencia, but they were in the relegation battle all year, just like us, and their goal differential was actually worse than ours. So I felt that they were vulnerable, and Valencia proved that today. So great job for the boys. We started out well on the front foot, like I said. We started out very solid defensively. I think the first 35, 40 minutes, they didn't even have a single real shot on goal, and that's exactly what you want from Valencia. You know, we're not going to be the most attacking team. We don't have the most talent, but we can be well organized, and we can play with character, and that's exactly what the boys did out there, and that's what I would expect with a team with so much homegrown talent. What I'm looking at my notes here, and the first thing seeing is Diakabi was everywhere, and this is the first half. This guy was playing that box to box role. I mean, he was at one point he was like in the final third. He's in the back. He's in the back box. He was playing that box to box midfielder role exactly as you'd like to see. I think we were joking, some of us, that he was kind of like Kondogbia, Prime Patrick Vieira, Yaya Torre, a discount version. He was incredible in the first half too. Absolutely everywhere from the guy, and I'm so happy to see it because for so long his Valencia career he was mocked, but today he was absolutely incredible. And even in the first half, which was his worst half of the two, he was just a shining star. 35th minute, this was Fran Perez's big moment. He had a great cross into Diego Lopez. Diego Lopez did this really cool back heel, and it almost came off. And I was talking to a few people, and we all thought it was a goal. It was one of those moments that, like, you gasped because you thought this was going to be the moment where Diego Lopez announced himself to the world, even more than he did last year, but it wasn't meant to be. I thought Duro was extremely poor in the first half. I remember them showing Hugo Duro at one point, like in the 40th minute, and I forgot that he was on the field. He ghosted through the first half, so he needs to step it up a little bit because if we bring anybody else in of any kind of caliber, he's probably going to be on the way out. So he has Las Palmas next week. Hopefully he can step it up and get a couple goals, or at least be really involved and really cement himself in the lineup. Because I think there is a player there. I remember when he first came in with Bordalas, he was incredible. He had like a couple good goals. I remember in the Copa del Rey final, he had this amazing goal. So hope he can get his form back because I think there is a player there, and he's still pretty young. So hopefully Hugo Duro can get it back on track. Going into halftime, it was tied 0-0. I don't think anybody could have any complaints what they saw from Valencia. We had a lot of heart. We didn't have many opportunities aside from that one Diego Lopez backheel, but we were playing solid on the road against a very good Sevilla team. Second half, we came out. We looked really shaky for the first 5-10 minutes. I thought for certain Sevilla was going to get a goal, but we found our way to battle through it. We didn't concede anything. Um, Duro had a good chance in the 60th minute. He just scuffed it. I don't know what he was doing. I think he had a pass he could have actually made to an open man. But ultimately, I think that he would have been offsides, so you can't take too much away from it there. But Almeida had an absolutely lovely pass that bounced right to. I'm not selling it properly. Almeida took the ball down in the final third. He dribbled perfectly around the defender, laid a perfect pass to Diakabi, and Diakabi somehow he makes this connection with the ball, and it's the worst connection you've ever seen. But this ball is bouncing up and down, somehow finds the corner of the net almost by divine intervention, and it put Valencia up 1-0. I think we were all feeling ourselves at that point. We knew our defense was rock solid. We thought the game was done in wraps, but it wasn't meant to be. Of course, Javiera enters the game, and then from there we have En-Nesyri actually come through with this brilliant. It wasn't even a header; it was like a shoulder that hit the ball. I was hoping they were going to take it away for a handball, but bounced off his shoulder into the net. Really, it was the absolute ideal cross, and crosses really were a big struggle for us throughout the game. They were getting some good crosses in that scared me more than a few times that I thought for certain were going to go into the back of the net. And then finally, as we saw, if you concede enough of those, one will eventually go in. And En-Nesyri punished us and tied the game up 1-1. At that point, I think we were all hoping for a draw. Let's get away with a tough earned point on the road. That'd be a good start to the season. But then you see, I think it was Loic Bade absolutely have an absolute mind freeze, and I think he grabs Duro, I believe it was Duro, and pulls him down on a breakaway. It's an automatic red card for attention for stopping a clear goal scoring opportunity. He was the last defender, and as the commentators were saying, I think that the goalkeeper would have got to the ball if he didn't do that foul anyway. But that was just a massive opportunity for Valencia that presented itself. We had about 12 minutes left to try to get that goal, and of course we did. But Javi Guerra, the man of the moment, got that absolute peach of a goal. That was a goal that came out of pure effort, and that's the story of Valencia this year. Let's see if they can keep it up, guys, because that is exactly what we want to see. I don't care if we win every game. I don't care if we lose every game. I want to see the heart and fight out there that I think the club deserves, and so many of these players showed us today that they had that fight for Valencia. Wrapping the video up, the man of the match was, of course, no other than Mukhtar Diakabi. Again, so happy for this man. I had him as my defender of the year last year, and again, he backed it up. He was everywhere today. He played almost like that. Like I said, he played in the box-to-box midfield role, which I didn't think he could do, but he was absolutely incredible, guys. If you didn't watch the game, he was incredible. He was like clumsy, but at the same time elegant. It's hard to describe, but he was everywhere, and he did an absolute job for Valencia. Props to that guy. Nothing but respect for him. And as always, guys, I'm Moon Valencia. Be sure to subscribe for all the latest videos coming out the rest of this year. Take care.